welcome to the very first episode of Super Brains. Here we activate our super brains through STEM education. And on every episode, what we will do is to identify a social issue and ask our super brains kids to apply their on-hand practical trainings that they have acquired here at Asustem Robotics to solve this particular issue. So on our very first episode, we asked our super brains kids to identify any problem in the home, and this is what they came up with.
Hello everyone and welcome to SUPERBRAINS. Electrical energy is a huge part of our life. Electrical energy is the flow of electrons and protons. Without electrical energy, about 90% of our daily activities cannot be achieved.
Electrical energy allows us to watch television, use the washing machine, iron our clothes, charge our phones and tablets, power our computers, and power all the light we see shining in our rooms and at night.
But some activity that comes with the usage of electrical energy, well, can sometimes be tiring.
Like seriously?
Like duh.
Oh yes. For example, walking around every morning and evening, turning off and on our lights.
Now you see what I'm talking about?
Yes.
But before we get to that, let's get this. One light stays on during the daytime when it's not needed, drains electrical energy. But you know, switching light off can save energy for later use. But you know how switching lights off and on can be such a tedious task?
Yes, especially if you're the guy switching off and on the lights every night and day.
Can you imagine in this huge house when you have to turn off the lights in the morning and back on in the evening every day?
Imagine an institution such as the University of Ghana Legon campus, Jubilee House, Parliament House, and all these enormous corporate infrastructure.
Wait a minute. Imagine International Airport, Kotoka.
Unfortunately, some of us either forget to switch on or off our lights or entirely neglect it. That is why you see some houses with their lights on when it's not needed and off when it's exactly needed.
So on this episode of SUPERBRAINS, we wish to find a solution to solve these economical and social menace so we can collectively help and save this country and ourselves from the discomfort of doomsday.
So, let's activate our super brains for a brilliant solution. On standby, Team Ya Santua. Team, over to you.
When I am going to school, I see other people's lights on.
Every evening, I see mommy going all around the whole house to turn all the lights on.
Even when I'm coming home in the afternoon, I see some of the street lights on.
And how true is this problem? Imagine living in the biggest mansion, or let's say the Jubilee House, waking up and putting the lights off. It will be such a tedious job. And so this problem that our kids have identified, I think it's a goal. And so with the help of Coach Sammy, the kids are inventing an automated lighting system. So why don't we check out how far they are up in their invention? Come on.
Okay guys, today we are going to build an automatic lighting system, okay? And this is going to solve what? The problem of what? Us forgetting our lights on, us not turning off our lights when we are supposed to, okay? Just like Jonathan said in his home. This is going to end up solving that problem. So mommy and daddy won't have to go around turning off the lights. Do you get it? And turning on the lights again. You get it? I hope you guys are ready.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Super brain.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get another 1 second. So to stay off for 1 second. So this one is doing what? This. Stay off short, stay on long. Do you get it? So what do we light sensor does? We'll be moving to the light sensor soon. So let's say this room, if you have a light sensor, the light sensor can know how bright or how dark this place is. Reading light intensity. That's what we're coming to do now. Now there's something we call data logging. That is what is going to help us to know how dark or how bright this room is. We'll be using the light sensor. If you look at the top corner, this side, switch to NXT data logging. Okay, NXT data logging. An experiment. You're trying to see how dark or how bright this room is. Do you get it? So here, we are going to upload it here onto the NXT again. So here, I'll just click on the green button. As soon as it's done, then we'll just start seeing something. Okay, so it's done. Now look here, you can see because it's bright, it is going what? Up. If you get it closer to the light, you see it's climbing up. Okay, so you can see the values. You can see the values there. So with this project the kids are currently working on, it helps build their brain and it adapts their brain towards problem solving. So for example, with the automatic light detection system here, they look at some of the factors that is needed for this to actually solve the problem. So for example, the light, they ask themselves, why do we need light in the first place? Because we need light so that we don't live in darkness. So they look at which sensor can detect the light or the darkness, which they find the answer to. So they adopt the sensor they need, and they also make use of the LED. I hope you can see the lines. When you take it down, it drops because it's getting darker. But when you take it up, gets closer, it's climbing because it's brighter. Do you get it? So you can see, in a dark place, it falls. You also want to try. So before this, they play around with the LED, commanding it to go on and off, trying to understand it. And they also make use of the light sensor to read light intensity and also the value generated when it's dark. So based on these two tests, they integrate their knowledge on the light sensor and the LEDs as well as the controller, and they are then able to program it to come on only when there is a certain threshold in darkness. Up like you used to. Why? Because the room is what? Dark.
I'm connecting the LED to the brain. The brain will give the command to the LED to produce light.
Sonia, what are you doing now?
I'm connecting the light sensor to the brain so that it detects the darkness.
So 18, probably 16 thereabout. Do you get it? Writing the program for our light system, what happens? As soon as the light comes back on, you see it goes up. You see the difference? So we also help build their brain and they're able to solve more problems. So if their brain is tuned in this way, even when there's a separate problem which doesn't have anything to do with the problems they mentioned earlier, they'll be able to think in this fashion. First identifying the problem and looking at the available methods that they can use to solve it.
Hello SUPERBRAINS! Up next is What Did You Learn? Where we recap on some activities that go on here at Asustem Robotics Academy. We get to experience the various classes ranging from ages 4 to 7, 8 to 11, and 11 to 18, and interact with the kids on what they studied today. Are you ready? Up next is What Did You Learn?
SUPERBRAINS!
natural disasters are tornado, earthquake, and flood.
STEM education is increasingly becoming an integral part of a child's education across the world. Did you know that STEM education fosters ingenuity and creativity amongst children? Did you know that STEM education builds resilience amongst children? Did you know that STEM education encourages experimentation and teamwork amongst children? Did you know that STEM education encourages knowledge application amongst children? Did you know that STEM education teaches problem solving? Did you know that STEM education also encourages adaptation? And did you know that in Ghana, Asustem Robotics Academy is the leading name in STEM education? Well, now you know. Join us same time for more Did You Know tips.
And so our SuperBrain kids are busy inventing the automated lighting system. Let's check how far up they are in. Come on, let's go.
Hello guys, welcome to
SUPERBRAINS!
Then asking this kid.
And now the moment of truth. We're about to present our final work, drum rolling. So let's go and check out what this automated lighting system is all about.
SUPERBRAINS!
SUPERBRAINS!
Yeah! Finally, we have been able to complete our project. And the name of our project, as we mentioned earlier, is the lighting system, the automatic lighting system. So basically, we make use of the light sensor, which is able to detect the difference in light brightness. Okay, so we have been able to complete it successfully, and all these kids were able to have a feel of it, and have been able to add on to their knowledge when it comes to robotics and electronics. SUPERBRAINS!
SUPERBRAINS!
And now with this system, you don't have to go and turn off the light or on it by yourself. When it is daytime, the controller signals the light to go off. But when it is in the evening, the controller signals the light to go on.
And this automated lighting system will help us to save electricity and to save electrical energy.
So we've come to the very end of our first episode of Super Brains. I had so much fun. I hope you did too. Today we learned so much. We learned about automated lighting system. We also learned about volcanoes. I know you had fun. This is the time to tell mommy and daddy to bring you to where? Asustem Robotics, because this is the only place you're going to get STEM education and meet so many wonderful friends, all right? On our very next episode of Super Brains, let me invite in Esther. Esther, come here. We're going to do the club. Now, this club is supposed to be the new club you do on campus, in school, in class with all your friends. Esther, are you ready? Okay, so once we finish, we just wave our friends bye, okay? All right, so now when we say Super Brains, this is the new club you go with. Super Brains! Yeah! See you next time.